In my last video, I was explaining a couple of counter mindsets and a couple of language learning myths that I, as a language learner and teacher, experienced in myself as well as in my language students, but also the fact that a mindset is the most concrete but also the most foundational thing and factor that leads to either self-sabotaging of our efforts, or it can lead to actual progress and success. Now, the problem is there. We could also count and quote numbers in regards to how many people actually stop or stagnate in their language learning journey. Would that need to be? Is that necessary? I don't think it is. I think there is a good chance to actually change the course of our thinking. Change our thinking, really, and with that, changing our approach and our practice in many areas, but especially also in language learning. How can that be done? What can we do about the problem? I mean, is it really possible to change one's thinking just within a little course or by reading a book? Well, yes and no. Of course, it takes intentionality. I think it takes to have an understanding of the problem, but it also takes the courage to look a little bit deeper, to actually ask myself, okay, methods are tools that I have, but the mindset that I have can actually determine whether these tools, whether these methods work for me or not. And I created a course. It's called Mindset Before Method, because I really think that we have to deal with the mindset first before we deal with the method, the approach, the material that we use for learning a foreign language. And this course, Mindset Before Method, is actually geared and targeted to people. I have a fly here. Hi, fly. To people who are wanting to make more of their language learning, more of their language journey. They don't want to stagnate. They maybe have a fixed budget, a fixed timeline in which they want to make concrete progress, either for work reasons, for relational, social reasons, maybe for traveling purposes, whatever the reason is and your motive. You may want to invest in your language learning in a way that you really can say, this was a good investment and I really made progress. Or I'm on a journey to make constant progress over many years because I don't want this journey to end. Okay, and I highly recommend actually taking a little bit of money into your hands, a little bit of time also, to look deeper, to look into, okay, what do I actually believe about language learning, about the process of language learning? And what is it that maybe I am semi-conscious or not conscious about at all? How does that happen? Well, it happens by getting new information, challenging oneself to process that information, to be honest with oneself, and by information, reflection, and practice, one can actually change the way how one thinks about language learning, but also about other areas of life. Now, as a language teacher, my burden is foreign language learning, obviously. And in the course Mindset Before Method, I have basically 3 big parts. We deconstruct the unhelpful thinking and unhelpful myths and information that we cling to. We then construct a very helpful mindset. It includes constructing a way of thinking about language that is realistic, that is also linguistically realistic. It is about constructing a helpful and a realistic and grounded way of thinking about language learning. It's about also really realistically thinking about what we actually bring to the table already. And I have my own philosophy in that, because I think that everybody who is alive is a potential language learner, because life itself is very much like language learning and the other way around. There are so many very existential, foundational similarities that if you are going through the world with open eyes and curiosity, you are a potential very good language learner. And I explain why. And so constructing a helpful mindset regarding language, regarding what we bring to the table, regarding language learning itself, regarding our agency in this, regarding the whole question around motivation. What do we do with that? What is motivation? How can we harness certain tools in order to, be constantly motivated? Is that even possible? All of these questions are being addressed. And in the end, out of the 7 modules that we have in that course, module number 6 is making it even more personal, really bringing the focus to your current language journey that you are embarking on or picking up again, why you are learning the language you want to learn, what you actually need to learn for that, and how you want to do that. And in a final session, we are meeting live. The first 6 sessions, the first 6 modules are pre-recorded. You can do that in a self-paced way. And once you're done with session 6, you can schedule taking part in session number 7, where we meet personally. You, several other course participants, and I. And we will talk about our course experience. We talk about the things we learned, the things we needed to deconstruct, and how it feels to have constructed a new way of thinking about language and language learning. Okay, so in the next video, I show you what that can actually do for you. So I will talk about specific stories and how changing one's language learning mindset can empower you to actually have not just constant progress, but also progress that feels good, that is realistic, that is building confidence and strength in your abilities, and that is also fun, not in a superficial way, but in a deeply human way.